You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys. I'm actually in studio, but we got a great guest interview for you guys today. I know you guys love having guests on the show, and we have none other than Shawn Langton with Kujo Yardwear lawn care shoes. Shawn, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
Nothing much. Thanks, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. Welcome to the jungle. It's it's crazy. We're talking lawn care, we're talking landscaping, and we were just catching up for a quick second before we hit record. And you're like, "How's the weather doing up there in Michigan today?" Which is funny because it can change every single day, right, Shawn?
Right. So, oh yeah.
You're a Michigan native, and this morning it's 20 degrees, blissfully cold, and a little bit of light snow flurries on the ground. And what's the weather like down in North Carolina? You were rubbing my face in it just a second ago.
Well, I was saying it's a little colder than normal, but we'll be 60 and sunny today. We'll get through it somehow.
Oh my God, that's awesome! It's funny, like I don't think we're going to see 65 degrees and sunny until probably April or May again this time next year. You know,
right?
It's so depressing. I still wonder why I live in Michigan sometimes. I love the four seasons, you know what I mean, and the Great Lakes, but I don't know, Shawn, the older I get, the more I'm like, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, doesn't sound too bad, you know? I don't know, bro. But, well, here's what we're going to be just kind of hanging out with you guys for a couple quick minutes here. We got a little bit different style of podcast. You guys know Shawn and the Kujo Yardwear lawn care shoes. They're the shoes that we wear and the boots that we wear while we cut grass and do landscaping. And just an awesome, startup story. They just have been great participants in the community and just have a really, really good product that a lot of you guys know and love. And we actually did an episode with Shawn, what was it, earlier this summer, maybe, Shawn?
Yeah, I think it was spring, summer. Yeah,
spring, summer. We were trying to get Kujo on the radar. They've been a sponsor of the show, which is really cool. And thank you guys for supporting them with our code, the Brian's 10. You guys know the deal by now. But we got a couple different things here. I want to get a little debrief from Shawn about the Lunchpreneur Academy event that Kelsey, his sister, got to host. We're going to talk for that a few minutes. I was just listening to Paul Jameson's podcast. I was telling Shawn where him and Naylor got to do a debrief with Kelsey, Shawn's sister. And she was all excited and just did a great job on the podcast talking about the Kujo startup story again. And it was just a really cool time. And I'm like, oh, no way. I'm like, I got a phone call with Shawn today as well. So so we're going to talk about that. But then also a little bit of the story behind the story, right, Shawn, is
That's right.
Shawn had some challenges and some victories over the last 12 months that he wanted to give you guys an encouraging word. And I said, dude, I'm all about the struggle victory. I said, sometimes we all go through struggle and you guys don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Liz and I have dealt with stuff. You guys listening in, you've dealt with stuff. And Shawn had to deal with a lot of stuff last 12, 18 months that, frankly, not a lot of people knew. And you know, that's the sign of a winner. That's the sign of a leader, somebody who I always say, like, duck on water, Shawn. Like you look, smooth and just chill and calm on top, but you're paddling like crazy underneath and little flippers, and you never would have guessed with Kujo. And you and I were catching up this summer and telling me some stories. And I'm like, dude, I had no idea. And you're like, yeah, bro. And I'm like, I had no idea. So a little bit of a teaser there. I know it's kind of we got to tie up that little loose end there, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a different kind of podcast episode. And I think we're really, really going to enjoy it. So again, let's do this really quick. We're going to kick it over to Mr. Producer here to bring you guys the show announcements, the show notes, the show sponsors, and then we'll come right on back.
Yeah, that episode with Shawn's sister Kelsey on the Green Industry Podcast, that was strong. Please check that out after the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Now, Kujo has a really nice Instagram account at Kujo Yardwear, and I still believe, of course, depending on the size of your team and your budget, that outfitting your crew with Kujo boots or shoes would just be a classy Christmas gift for your guys, or you could just stick with the Jelly of the Month Club. Don't be that guy.
Are you ready to make some serious money this winter with snow and ice management services? Are you looking to position yourself as an industry professional and to protect your bottom line from issues like unstable salt prices? Don't get left out in the cold this winter. Head over to debtfreelandscaper.com to check out the highly sought after commercial and residential snow plowing contracts. These agreements are available for internet download and are easy to edit and make your own. Debtfreelandscaper.com, the green industry's most professional resource for lawn and landscaping contracts, hiring employees and subcontractors, and where you'll find the same money-making commercial snow contract that numerous contractors like Brian Fullerton have used to dominate the snow and ice management industry. DebtFreeLandscaper.com. Head over to DebtFreeLandscaper.com to get access to these incredible resources today and put yourself in a position to plow through the competition.
Whatever your activity, whatever your passion, whatever you're doing, stay warm doing it with Brian's 10 partner, VoltHeat.com. Save 10% and manage your thermal comfort regardless of the temperature. That's VoltHeat.com. And now back to Brian.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, Shawn, let's just jump right into it, man. I'm already doing more talking than I like to do this early in the morning. So let's kick it back over to you guys. Let's, if you want, can you get these guys up to speed? Just maybe, 2-minute elevator speech about the Kujo shoes. We got a lot of new listeners to the show. So maybe they didn't listen to your episode back in the summer since the podcast has grown since then. But give them a little elevator speech about Kujo, your background, and how you guys got to where you are today.
Yeah, appreciate it. And again, just real quick, so, Kujo Yardwear, as Brian mentioned, we have footwear, shoes, and boots, and we wanted to create something specifically for lawn care and landscaping. So, I mean, that's the bottom line of it. And myself and my sister Kelsey, a few years ago, we just started doing a lot of research into this. And, we brought it to life a couple of years ago. And the whole goal, again, was to do something specifically, for you guys and you gals out there working every day, mowing and trimming and landscaping. And we just felt like there wasn't that great shoe out there designed for this work, and we wanted to do it. So, we launched it. We've been very fortunate to be embraced by the community and meet a lot of great people and get a lot of great feedback over the last 2 years. We've made 5 or 6 improvements on our shoes already, just from feedback from everybody in the field using them. So, that's kind of the long and short of it. We're excited to be here and working with everybody.
That's awesome, man, for sure. Well, the whole origin story for me meeting Kujo was, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years ago now. Not that long ago, to be honest. And my story's been pretty well documented about how I bumped into Kujo. But for the new people, just the cliff notes was, I swear to God, I'm not making the story up. I was sitting in my truck. I remember exactly where I was sitting. I remember my buddy Aaron that was in the truck with me, and I had just got done switching out my boots. And it's funny, I literally heard Paul say this exact story on his episode this morning, that I don't know if you guys can relate, but I would wear the clunky boots in the morning till about 10 or 11 a.m., let the morning dew burn off, and then I'd switch out my boots and my socks for athletic shoes and, like short socks. And I would just cut grass the rest of the day in comfortable tennis shoes. I used to wear a lot of like Red Wings boots, and I love my Red Wings boots, still a great boot. But I just didn't want to wear the moon boots all day is what I call them, and you wear boots for about 8, 9, 10, 12 hours. They start to take their toll. And I just know somebody out there listening, like, come on, softy. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But wearing a boot for 12 hours a day versus wearing a shoe is entirely different. And I remember being in the truck, and short story long, as my wife would say, is I was like, man, why doesn't somebody make a shoe that is waterproof in the front, that has, breathability, that has the support, that, I has good traction and good tread that I could just wear all day? And I literally, and this is the funny part of it, is like, I swear to God, I don't know if it's like the next hour or the next day, but I get an email. It's like, bing, it's like Kujo Yardwear shoes. And I'm like, what's this? And I open it up and it's like, hi, I'm Shawn Langton. I have a shoe that has a waterproof cap and it's for lawn care professionals. We were interested in a couple people like testing it and seeing if it makes sense for your business. And I always joke, like, and we all kind of know this by now, but like, we know Facebook and Google are like kind of listening, in on your phone, Shawn. And like, the worst one is Purple Mattress. Like, if you guys start getting ads for Purple Mattress, shoot me a DM on Instagram and tag me, because you want to talk about retargeting ads and campaigns. But we all know like your phone's listening, but I didn't know it was listening that well back then, Shawn. So,
oh yeah.
But the rest is history. You guys sent me a couple pairs. I gave a couple pairs to myself, my buddies. We tested them out, and big thumbs up. And it was just really cool to hear your guys' whole startup story, which again, I'll try to leave the link in the show notes for what episode that was back with Shawn earlier this summer, where we went into their whole startup story. But so let's fast forward up to today. We did Launchpreneur Academy live. I literally think we threaded the needle here because at the time of this recording, we're going back into shutdowns and lockdowns in my state. And a lot of you guys know how I feel about that. So we had this like 2-week window to do events in Michigan. And then basically we can't do events anymore in Michigan. And so Launchpreneur Academy Live 2020 was a huge success. And then that's not me saying that. That's from you guys in the feedback. I mean, just incredible. Had just under 300 people there, Shawn. It was amazing. And I reached out for some sponsors because, you know, to be honest with you guys, like an event like that costs between $60,000 to $100,000. Like it's a lot of money, and people don't really know that. Like behind the scenes, like, oh, you just come there, you get your lunch, you get a little soft pretzel, and you like get to enjoy the speakers. Behind the scenes, we're renting out hundreds of hotel rooms, massive ballrooms. My AV bill is what some of you guys make in a month. It's just ridiculous. It's just seriously ridiculous. So I always joke, Shawn, like, if you guys are thinking about doing a live event, call me first. Cause I'll talk you right out of it. But, and then to have that money like fluctuating in your checking account, I'm like, I just want it out. So, but I was reaching out to a bunch of sponsors. This is where Kujo comes into play. Is I said, hey, we want to cover some of the cost of the event, keep the ticket price accessible for the new guy, and so we had like presenting sponsors and we had some silver sponsors, I call it, and we had Kujo Yardwear step up to the plate, and you guys made a commitment probably back. I don't know, what was that, Shawn? March, April, May, sometime in the spring.
Yeah, in the spring, definitely.
Yeah, and you were like, dude, we're good for it. And I'm like, all right, dude, like 2020 is going to be a roller coaster. You're like, we'll figure it out together, bro. And so I got to brag on your girl, Kelsey, your sister. She did an amazing job. I think she was a little nervous between me and you, because she's like walking around, like pacing and doing the shadow boxing thing, you know? And
right.
You know, I've been doing this enough to like learn body language, like when somebody's nervous, and who wouldn't be? Who wants to public speak in front of 300 people? I'm not the guy for that. And so she was like kind of nervous. She's like, do you think I'm going to do a good job? Like anything I should say or do? I'm like, no. I'm like, just go be you. Like, just have fun. I'm like, you guys are part of the community. You're not talking to people making a pitch. You're just talking to your friends. And she's like, yeah, you're right. You know? And so she went up there, she rocked her presentation, 10 to 15 minutes, had a couple slides and just took a couple questions. And it was just really well received. But I think where she had the most fun was in the hallway, where she had her sponsor table, and just having all those conversations about the shoe, the boot, and the screen that was playing, you know, kind of showing some of the videos from other like lawn care YouTubers, which was really cool. So, so I just had to take, 5 minutes here, plug Kelsey. She did an amazing job. I think it was maybe like one of her first like solo gigs, like, of this size, and she just knocked it out of the park. So, just a little plug for her. She did an amazing job, and we were just so excited to have her there and your guys' partnership there. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And that's the thing about Kelsey, like when it was brought up, I know she's never done anything like that before, publicly spoke in front of that many people. Mm-hmm. But when it came up like, hey, I was like, you okay doing this? It was no hesitation. She's like, absolutely, I'm in. And that's kind of that's what I love. And that's kind of our whole mindset on everything. Like, hey, we haven't done this before, but yeah, we're going to do it. We'll figure it out. So that's great to hear that you thought she did such a great job. So, and I know she said the event was fantastic. So.
Well, I caught up with her after, and I go, hey, Kelsey, I'm like, how's the reception from the table? And she just like smiles and gives a big nod. I'm like, you guys making some sales? Like people making purchases and upgrades for next spring? And because you guys run a little promo there for us and help people save 10 or 15%, whatever it was. And she's like, people want to support you. They want to support the event. They want to support us. And they're buying them for their friends for the holidays. They're buying them for their crew for fall and summer or, spring next year. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, that's what it's all about. I'm like, you got to buy shoes anyway, man. I was buying Asics and Brooks at, $125 a pop. And we would just rip through them. I mean, I'd go through a pair of shoes a year. So it's kind of like a line item for us now in the business. But
right.
So anyway, but well, let's do this. I want to talk a little bit more about the latest and greatest from Kujo. It's good to have maybe a mid-season update from you guys. You just launched the boot a couple months ago, and then I know you are looking at per Paul's conversation with Kelsey. So I'm not getting in trouble here. I didn't say anything from that. I don't know anything other than what I heard from Kelsey. So
what did they say?
Well, they said that you guys are wrapping my Tesla, and I'm just kidding.
yeah.
I'm just messing. I did like a big ass Yard Book sticker on the back, sponsored by Yard Book, and. No, I'm just having fun. But they said you guys got some color options coming for the boot. Trying to get a slip-on maybe for next spring. I don't know. You tell me anything new or exciting that these guys can look forward to over the off season for next spring.
Yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff. First of all, we did launch the X1 boots this year. It's been a fantastic reception. People love it. But the other great thing I mentioned before, we love getting feedback and making improvements. So we've talked to so many guys out there wearing the boots, and so we have 4 minor improvements we're making to the boot for next year, so it'll be even better, in our second production run. But yeah, we're launching a new colorway it's really cool. It's kind of a brownish sand color with some light and dark brown. A lot of people have been asking for a lighter boot color for the summer, so I have the sample in front of me right now. It looks fantastic. So we're starting production on that. That'll be available in the spring. And then, we have a lot of development going on. So we're in the early stages of a slip-on yard shoe. So similar to our current yard shoe, but a slip-on version. Okay. And so people are pretty pumped about that. That'll probably be a summer launch. And then we're also working on some landscaping yard pants. Ooh. So we've had a ton of people requesting for some light pants to wear in the summer, instead of shorts. Something that still offers protection but breathable, and we're developing that now too. So that's a fun project right now too.
Yeah, is that something that might take a year, 18 months, or maybe next summer? Any timelines? I know it's kind of still probably research stage for you guys. Yeah,
so we'll start testing them soon, and then I would love to get them out by the summer. Summer 2021 still. So that's the goal.
Well, I remember, I think it was Naylor that was saying on the episode with Paul, which Naylor, you guys know Naylor Taliaferro with the Lawn Care Rookie. He said that it's really cool about Kujo is that you guys are a brand that started selling to lawn care landscapers and like kind of built from like within. You're not like a product that is like coming into our market that has to like tool down or tool up to, meet our needs. Like you guys started exclusively as a lawn care landscaping shoe and boot versus maybe some other brand that's like more generic. And they're like, oh, hey, like we're in the construction industry and the electrical industry and the contractor industry with plumbing and whatever. Let's go over to the lawn care guys and get those people too. Like that's kind of a different story if you think about it. Cause you guys, your whole startup was, there was no shoe for the lawn care landscaper. That's basically what you were coming up with.
That was it. 100%. And we didn't, if we said, hey, let's do a work shoe that's for everybody, construction workers, this and that. And we have people in other industries that wear it, don't get me wrong. Right. But we're like, if we stay uber focused on this specific industry and just try to make it the best for this industry, I think we'll win. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do is just listen to feedback from the community and create products specifically for this industry.
Yeah, it's so funny. I hope you guys move forward with a pant and even like a nice sock. As weird as it sounds, because I heard Naylor say also, shout out to Naylor. Naylor's just full of wisdom at least on that podcast, right? So we all have our moments, and Naylor was doing a great job because he said the pants and the socks. He goes, you got to invest in yourself, and we always say like invest in your future, invest in yourself, like. It can be education, it can be your mind, it can be books and, conferences, but it can be quality, hearing protection, eye protection, and footwear. And I loved what he said, like, hey, you're on your feet 8, 10, 12 hours and having good quality shoes and boots are incredibly important. It's something that you don't really think about in like when you're 19 or 25. But the older I get, I'm like, dude, I care about that stuff. And, it's made a huge impact having comfortable shoes like the Kujos on our feet. And to go full circle, I hope you guys do come out with a good pant because I wear the Duluth midweight fire hose pant. They've been great. Probably the best pant that I found in the last 2 years. But I know so many guys are like, they wear like the camo pants. They'll wear like the Dickies pants from like Walmart. So I'm excited to see what you guys come out with. A lightweight, breathable pant would be awesome. Something that can still protect us when we're trimming grass, but also something that can breathe when it's 90 degrees out, So
exactly.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, let's do this. Let's shift gears. I know we wanted to talk about. I don't really even know how to phrase this or frame it, but little health challenge, little because you overcame it, which was exciting, and just amazing perseverance. But so give us some context here. So Kujo Yardwear, 18 months, 24 months ago, you guys were just kind of launching, you putting all the energy you can in the world behind it, right? To get this rocket ship up into the atmosphere, into altitude, right?
That's right.
And behind the scenes, you had to deal with some stuff. So why don't you give us some context and tell your story, man? It's open mic for you, and we'll just see where it goes.
All right, yeah, I'll kind of get into it. And like you said, I think just it's kind of interesting to talk about this because everybody faces challenges. So I think I'm a big fan of people who just plow through those challenges and keep moving. So I think it'd be kind of fun to talk. So yeah, I mean, we launched in 2018. We're jamming, sinking all my time and effort into this thing and get this going. And then 2019 turns, and this is our first full year with the product line. And I'm starting to not feel great physically. I'm a 38, 39-year-old guy at this point, and chest starts hurting, things like that, and kind of to get right to the point here. And so summer's going along, and something's just not right. I keep going to the doctor, checking. Oh, it's allergies. Oh, it's this, all that. But like, if you know your body, something's just not right. So I just keep coming back, and then my chest is hurting more, and then I'm feeling like, a lump in my chest. Long story short, they come to find out, hey, it looks like something's not right here, and they got some scans done on me, and sure enough, they said, yeah, I think that's cancer.
Wow.
And this is, out of nowhere. I thought I had a cough, maybe allergies, something. But yeah, this was, I found that out about a year ago. This was October.
Wow.
Right before GIE. And, it was wild. When you hear news like that, the first thing I remember hearing the news, and you're not prepared for something like that. The first thing I think of is my two kids who are 9 and 12. You think about them and you think about your wife. So those are the first things, like, hey, you think the worst at that point, like, oh, I'm not going to be there to see him graduate high school. I'm not going to, grow old with my wife at that beach house we always dreamed about. You start running those things in your head, and it gets pretty somber, but honestly, that lasted about one day. Cause it had to, the next day it was, okay, let's get to work. What do we do? What's the plan? How do we get past this? So,
wow.
It was a really, odd thing, but it was like, let's get through that. So it was funny because GIE was in the next week. So they wanted me to start chemo right then. And I said, whoa, that's the week of GIE. Can we bump it back a week?
Oh my God, dude.
So they did. My doctor agreed. He said, yeah, once you start chemo, you shouldn't go to events. You get pretty, everyone's quarantining this year. Like he said, once you start chemo, you should really quarantine yourself. You're immunocompromised, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I said, all right, well, it's not started yet because we got to go to GIE. So, I was there talking, you and I talked a while there at the booth, Brian. Like, I'm there meeting with all these guys. At the time, I had a 5-inch cancer tumor in my chest, and I was kind of struggling. But
Jesus, bro,
just there and knocked it out and kind of talked to everybody those 3 days, and it was a blast.
Wow. And nobody knew. I didn't know. And you and I, we're pretty thick into it, we do a lot of business together, and we're talking, and I'm trying to always, take care of the sponsors and take care of the companies that work with us. And, it goes full circle, and they're more than just financial partnerships. I don't even care about them. I don't even know what I make with Kujo. I don't even care. I really don't. I think I asked you once in the spring, like, hey, how are we doing? Like, compared to everybody else, we doing okay? You're like, yeah, you guys are doing great. Okay, cool. That's the last time I think I asked about it, that was in like April. And since then, I don't even know, don't even care. And but man, to be going through that much stuff behind the scenes, that's, and here's the deal. We talked about some stuff at Launchpreneur Academy Live that Liz and I had to go through behind the scenes this year. Last year, probably around the same time that you were dealing with your health challenge. My mom had a health scare, breast cancer health scare. Thankfully, it wasn't cancerous. And then her mom, though, my wife's mom, Liz's mom, Charlene, she had, which a lot of you guys met her at Launchpreneur Academy. She was working the ticket table. She had just severe case of breast cancer. And then my aunt, who also worked the table, who was amazing, Lynn, she as well. So I'm like, dude. And then I have another friend. He's down in Indiana. Great guy. He's been on the show. I just talked to him the other day, and he came up to our event, and he's working through some stuff too. And I'm like, dude, we're praying for you. We're pulling for you. And I think we all get so caught up in business and hustling and growing and building the dream and like, we're going to be millionaires or, take care of our family. And I always talk about people. I go like, you try to tell the people, like, you got to take care of yourself. You got to, make sure that your ducks are in a row back at home too. And I don't know, like, where did you find the perseverance to go talk to, 3,000 people that came to your booth that day? I mean, for real. I mean, that's impressive, dude.
Yeah. And it was, and my sisters, they're helping. Actually, if you remember, my dad came to that show, and it was great. But that's the reason he came, because he came to help me, because he knew I would need to take breaks and things like that. So it was kind of a team effort, but it was super exciting for me, because I was like, you know what, this could be the last hurrah. Not like you're gonna die, but like this could be the last hurrah. Like, I'm gonna have to be doing chemo and not traveling for who knows how long. Like, let's just go out and have one last fun time in the industry. And so for me, it was just nothing but positivity. It was so fun, and I was so excited to be out talking to everybody, because I knew right when I got home, I'm going to hospital, and in my chemo treatment, it was a very aggressive cancer. Each chemo treatment was 5 nights in the hospital, so I had to do that. I had to do that 6 rounds. So from October through February, every couple of weeks, I'd spend a whole week in the hospital, and while chemo's getting pumped into me for 5 days, I'm there with my laptop and my phone, and I'm working on Kujo every day, because what else am I going to do when I'm in the hospital? I might as well get some work done.
Dude, that's insane, bro. That's insane. I mean, that's the attitude of a winner. I mean, I know so many stories like that eventually come out, from people, and they're just, we always say, like, you can only control your actions and your attitude, right, Shawn? We always say, and
right. Yep.
And that's it. Like, you're like, okay, this is the cards I'm dealt with. I got two options. I can just, roll over and wet on myself, or I can face it, head on and have a good attitude and just figure it out and do the best I can day to day. And in those windows and scenarios, like, that is a day-to-day navigation, I can imagine,
right.
And I try to have empathy and relate, but I haven't walked through those shoes. And, but I mean, we saw my aunt go through, dude, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't even remember the schedule, but it was like 8 weeks on Saturday, because she like is high up there, like CFO for a major company here local, and she does really well for herself. And every Saturday she's doing like the crazy rounds of chemo and all this other stuff. And I think it was like 8 weeks long, and we knew, but like nobody really around her knew, except for like her other like corporate peers, in her immediate office. But she tried to like keep it low key. And guys, I mean, if you're out there struggling with stuff, like, reach out to somebody, like, find somebody that can pray with you, be there with you, help you. I mean, especially in business, like, pick up some of your route, just partner with you. I always say, like, that's why we make friends, and that's why we have community. I mean, you have a team of people around you. And I mean, Shawn, you had Kelsey and Craig, and what was your dad's name again?
Jeff.
Josh?
Jeff.
Spell it for me. I can't hear it.
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, Jeff. Yif. My name's Jeff. Sorry, was that 22 Jump Street, but 21 Jump Street. His name is Jeff. But Jeff, I mean, he was the nicest guy. I think he prayed for Liz and I while we were there, and dude,
sounds about right.
Yeah, he was so cool. Liz still talks about him. Like, remember Shawn's dad? I'm like, I know, he was the nicest guy ever. And he's like, I'm so proud of my son. And you're like standing next to him, and
I know.
He's like, you got to meet my son Shawn one day. He's an amazing businessman. I'm like, I know Shawn. I talk to him every day. Like, I was like, dude, that's a good father. Like, that's definitely an envious relationship right there. I'm like, that's so cool, man. But
and you talk about the team, and not only there, but what was cool to me is, I mean, it was tough during that time, but it was like really cool for me to see so many friends and family that are there to support you. Again, I didn't make it public, but the people that knew, like, I had so many friends that started texting me every week for 6 months. How you doing? I had random people you wouldn't expect come to the hospital. I had people travel from out of state to come help my wife and kids while I was in the hospital for a week. Like, It was pretty amazing, how cool people are and how they're willing to help. And it made me realize, hey, after I get through this, I want to pay that forward. Like, if someone's going through something, I want to be there for them, because it means a lot. Where everyone's always so busy, I get it. But if you take the time out to go, like, support someone, it's huge. It means a lot, and it really meant a lot to me. So.
That's huge. I mean, I see the Facebook posts like that have been going around a lot the last 6 months, like like the copy paste ones, like, hey guys, if you're reading this and you don't have food or groceries, or you need a babysitter, please reach out. You don't have to send a public message, but just send me a DM, and because COVID's, outside of the health challenges for everybody, I mean, what nobody seems to measure, on the nightly news on the ticker is, domestic abuse and sexual abuse and all this different abuse. And I think I heard like suicide is up like 25% this year. I mean, and that's no joke. I mean, everybody's affected by this kind of stuff. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is like, have a friend, talk to somebody, like keep in touch with somebody. Like we're all so chiseled, grizzled vets out there. We're running mowers. We got the beers. We're all hard, gruff guys, and, not me, I'm a wallflower, but maybe you guys listening in, you guys all bench 225, 30 times. God bless you. But for me, man, like I wear my heart on the sleeve, and if something's wrong, Liz knows it in about 30 seconds. And I'll tell you what, man, we shared some stuff, open book at Entrepreneur Academy. We had, 50 people come up and just send us messages and cards and, little stuff behind the scenes. It was really appreciated. Like you said, Shawn, it makes you realize like, and I say this before, but the reason we make the money is to help people. Like, and I always need to like remind myself of that too. Like the reason I go so hard is that when a need does come up and somebody goes, man, $1,000 would change this in my family, we can be there for them. And we're not giving out handouts all day, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If somebody needs time, at least I can send myself, or definitely Liz, as she's a stay-at-home wife and hopefully mom one day. And so that's the kind of, that's the motivation why we work so hard. At least for me, I don't know. Can you relate to that at all?
Yeah. Yeah, totally relate to it. And to be in that position to be able to support others. And kind of just going on an overmap, besides the support, I think the other big thing that really, and this is something I already firmly believed in, but it really hit it home even further is, I know everyone says it's cliche, but life's short. Like literally, like you get one shot at this thing. Like who knows what happens, after this thing, but like here on Earth, we have one shot. And that's kind of that mindset's what drove me to even start Kujo in the beginning. It's like, wow, hey, we got one shot. Let's just dominate and do something fun while we're here. Yeah. And then just going through this scare thing, drove that point home. Like life's short. Like, A, do something great, and B, do something you really enjoy. Like, someone like hates their job, like just go do something else. I know it's not that easy, but it's like have that mindset of like, this is it. Let's do something fun here.
That is, dude. I wish people would take that to heart. Buying the mower, buying this or buying that. I'm not saying like go into debt or don't be reckless. Don't be frivolous or reckless. But at the same point, like, if you're debating between this and this, and they're both pretty much right answers, dude, execute. Just go for it, man. Like, let's just start winning and have that childlike faith, right? And man, I can only imagine like having news like that be delivered, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, like I've got all this stuff I want to do, and you're like, yeah,
that was totally it. I was like, wait a minute, I have all the stuff I wanted to do still.
What did you think? What did you think, or how do you prioritize that? Like, what did you know? How did you know what to do first?
Well, like I said, it lasted one day when I thought, oh, this is the worst. I want to do this stuff, so sad. And then the next day it was like, all right, let's just go. The first thing was like, let's just beat this thing. And there was no doubt in my mind. I think I'm a big believer in mindset and mental attitude can really shape your life. So right away, there was no option besides, well, first we got to just beat cancer. So that's the first thing. So that's what I need to do my chemo, blah, blah, blah. So super positive. It's funny, 2020 is a rough year for everybody, right? But I mean, literally the first minute of 2020 for me, I spent New Year's Eve in the hospital getting one of my chemo treatments. So, literally the first minute of this year, my wife's around my side, I'm getting pumped full of chemo in the hospital. So it started off pretty rough for me. But by the end of February, I finished. In March, I got the scan that I was 100% cancer free. So while it started horrible, when I look back on 2020, and I know it's a tough year for everybody, when I look back, it's going to be a great year for me just because, I got through this and beat this thing. So.
Wow. That's called perspective, bro. That's like,
right.
That's humility and that's perspective. Like your mower breaks down or you lost your couple key anchor accounts. Well, at least you didn't have a health challenge. In fact, I heard somebody say that once. They said, if like your biggest issues in life are financial challenges, like praise God because you can fix your finances in a year or two, if not sooner. But if you have health challenges or divorce or marriage issues, work through that stuff. Those are, your kids, drug addict or something like that. Those are real problems. And dude, we're like, I try to be as empathetic as I can. Like I really do understand that there's a lot of life going on behind the scenes of us trying to, be the next Gary Vee and the Grant Cardones and the, Mr. Successful. And it's like, I'm like, I just want to take care of my family, take care of my own, and just have enough surplus to take care of the people around me, and, like you said, man, you're looking at the upside. You're like, man, I'm still here. Like everything's a bonus round, So
right, like we might go locked down in quarantine, but at least I'm not eating hospital food and I can walk around outside a little bit. Like
wow,
like there's always tough things, but you just got to kind of try to have perspective, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a great way to say it. It's funny too because I don't know if I said this at a live event or maybe recently or maybe even on this podcast, but I said you never know what people are dealing with behind the scenes. And that's something I always try. For me personally, it's given me perspective being a content creator and having hundreds of thousands of people follow what we do and millions of people watching the channel. And man, I take it with a grain of salt. 99.95% of the comments are positive and encouraging. But, you got to realize though too, that if you get 1,000 pieces of feedback a week, and it's 99.5% good, well, I still get 50 messages a week or whatever of people saying, you suck, you're a sellout, you're a douchebag, you're a loser, you're trailer trash. And so let me ask you guys though this, if you're listening in, what do you think stings more or feels better? Do you think the encouragement feels better or do you think the stinging stings more? And unfortunately, the stinging stings more, right? It's just
absolutely
this is how it works. But I always try to encourage people, or I wish people would have the perspective in this society today. People are they're short, they're disrespectful, generally speaking, they're rude, they're inconsiderate. Just the other day, we had a gnarly windstorm here. Everybody put out their trash buckets. The night before, wind blows down, blows every single one of them out. You know who doesn't put out their trash that night? Me. And I put out mine the next morning at 7 a.m. when the wind's done because I'm empathetic to the trash guy who isn't some slob servant of the town. He's a nice guy who's got a family and he's doing a service that not many of us would do. And I look in the morning as I drive by and Shawn, 20 different people leave their driveway as I'm leaving and all their trash buckets are down and knocked over at the end of the driveway. I'm like, why didn't you get out and pick it up? And it's like the same thing. The guy that goes and takes the paper towel and he crumples it all up and goes for the 3-point and he misses it, but he doesn't go and pick it up off the floor. And it makes me frustrated that people aren't considerate. They're not kind. You don't know what people are going through behind the scenes. I think about that, with our president, people just hate him or like him. He's a human being and the relentless just assault on the guy is it would work on anybody. I do not know how he keeps up with it because I get 50 to 100, things a month saying like, you're a bad person. I got Facebook groups dedicated that I'm a bad person. I'm like, you don't even know me, bro. But I'm thinking like, imagine like what the president goes through, or like Shawn, like you and I did a podcast, April, May, June. I didn't know that you were dealing with that crap. And, here I am. I'm like, oh dude, I'm getting content and I get to sell some shoes. Like, it's like, come on, dude. Like, that's not my motive, but that's what I'm like thinking back on myself. I'm like, did you even ask Shawn how he was feeling that day? Like, did you even touch base? And I think sometimes we can all get so busy without being present. We're all like, I got to get to the next thing versus, hey, who's that next person you're interacting with? How are they doing? When you say like, hey, how's it going? Like, do you actually give a shit? I doubt it. And that's the thing we all need to slow down, I think, a little bit more. How are you doing? What's going on with your life, man? Oh, good. Cool, man. Well, how's things really going? Actually, this day sucks. I'm having a really rough day. Clients this, people that. And I think if we were more honest and authentic, we could have more people into our life and give us that encouragement that we need. I don't know. I'm just a little soapbox here, but man, I mean, it's just crazy to see your guys' story. So not only like, are you trying to like slay the world on two different fronts with, with your business, but now you got the health challenge that you're trying to overcome. And, man, you're a butt kicker, bro. I'm proud of you. Like, that's awesome.
Hey. No, I appreciate it. And, when you look back on it, and again, that's why I just kind of kept my head down and stayed quiet through it all. But now when you look back on it, it's a good feeling, and you know, like you said, there's so many other people going through stuff,
right?
That you just hope, they can put their head down and get through it too, because things get better. Same thing with like this quarantine lockdown, like it'll get better. Like it's a pain, it sucks for everybody. Don't get me wrong, but hopefully, even if it's a year from now, I know that seems long, but we'll get through it. So just positive vibes, right?
Amen, bro. Amen. Well, that's what community is all about. That's what family is all about. And I'll tell you what, we had family and we had community on deck at the Entrepreneur Academy Live, and that's why we had the event, for you guys to make friends, for you guys to build networks and friendships and relationships, and have people to rely on. And it was just. I heard like a monopod can get blown over. 2 legs, you're a little bit more stable, but 3 legs or 4 legs, when you got a stool or a chair, that's when you have more support. And I mean, Kujo, you guys got your stool, man. You got you, Kelsey, and Craig, and you guys are a tough stool that has 3 different legs to stand on. And if one gets a little wobbly, a little weak, the other 2 can support you, man. And that's what it's always about, having a team around you. So
that's right.
I love it, dude. We'll open mic here, man. If not, we'll button this guy up. But open mic, anything you want to leave these guys from, either your story or Kujo or anything else that you got? Well, we got you, bro.
No, I'm good. I think we touched on a lot of stuff, but again, the biggest thing I want to say is just, again, appreciate everyone in the community, and keep giving us that feedback. We love hearing your stories and ideas on products and all that stuff. So we'll just keep it rolling.
I love it, man. All right, well, guys, we'll button it up right here. It's awesome to hear our semi-annual update with Kujo and Shawn, and hearing how they put everything together. And here's what we'll do: we'll kick it over to the gentleman who helps us keep it together and put it all together for us, and that is Mr. Producer. So let's kick it back over to him, and guys, we'll catch up with you on the next one.
Staying safe on the job is a priority for all of us. Hi, it's Mr. Producer. Our friends at Route 1 Industries have as their goal making sure that others can see you, especially when you're plowing snow or working after dark. As former professionals in the industry, they know what the needs of heavy haulers and snow removal specialists on the road are. And we cannot underestimate the importance of being visible to people out there on the road. Route 1 has the best LED products for affordable prices. Have you guys seen the new lights and setup on Brian's truck on YouTube? He got those professionally installed by Youssef and the team at Route1Industries.com. Special Brian's Lawn Maintenance packages are available, and of course, Brian's 10 saves you money on the Starter, Bullseye, and Foreman light bundles. Now, a couple of install options for you. If you want to have them ship you the lights, you can install them on your own and save big. Now, if you're within, say, 6 state hours max of Harvey, Illinois, go ahead and schedule an appointment with Youssef. Hotels nearby are cheap at $75 a night. You could spend the night the day before or after, get your truck done, and drive home. That is what Brian did. Visit Route1Industries.com and see the wide range of LED lights that will definitely fulfill your needs. What are you waiting for? Visit them at Route1Industries.com and remember to save big with Brian's 10.
It sure would be nice to take our marketing and branding to the next level. Everyone always seems to have the best marketing materials, the best business cards, the best postcards. If I wasn't so busy mowing lawns all day, I'd probably have some cool designs too. I mean, where do people find the time to do all this stuff? I know I need to get new customers, and I know what I need to do. I just don't have the time to do it. I wish there was a better way. Hey guys, we wanted to make you aware of a brand new program that's now available for you guys exclusively at the LawnpreneurAcademy.com. Brian has now made available a brand new program, which includes 4 downloadable postcards designed to help you guys grow your business. 4 unique theme postcard templates are now available for you in a plug-and-play fashion. Simply add your company name, company logo, and phone number, and you're ready to rock and roll. These 4 designs are great for any lawn and landscaping business owner looking to take their marketing to the next level. The training program contains a spring, summer, fall, and winter theme postcard. They're $75 each, or purchase all 4 for $249, a $50 savings. Take the stress and hassle out of trying to design your own templates and postcards and use these to quickly grow your business. Get them printed with Brian's preferred vendor, or take the design to your local shop to have them printed up. But now you have 4 designs that are ready to go help you immediately take your marketing and advertising to the next level. Now available exclusively at LawnpreneurAcademy.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.